Good morning and happy 4th of July 2002 here at Waupaca's Hometown Days Parade. Good morning, Jim King. I'm Dan Hansen.
Good morning, Dan Hansen. I'm Jim King, and what a glorious Independence Day. What a way to celebrate. I don't know how we get this lucky year after year. The weather is absolutely perfect for a parade, and we have a perfect parade for the weather.
And we've got a perfect place to view the parade here on top of this beautiful Chevy pickup truck from Waupaca Motor Sales here in Waupaca.
Yeah, pretty spiffy new vehicle. If we provide the white and the blue, this one's fire engine red and looking good, and they were kind enough to loan it to the folks at Win TV, and that's how we get our rather enviable position for parade viewing.
And a great crowd on hand here today in downtown Waupaca. Beautiful weather, temperature right around 80 degrees, and a lot of stuff going on all weekend long. And our parade is just about coming into view here as we watch the Waupaca City Squad Car kind of heading up the parade here in this great 2002 event. And
you know, I'm looking at the crowd behind the squad car and the color guard that's coming, and boy, I tell you, they're anywhere from 3 to 5 deep, all the way from the Danes home down way south of the post office. I mean, we have got a lot of people here for this parade.
And right behind the city squad, we see the Waupaca VFW post 1037, an auxiliary, a veteran service organization chartered after World War II to provide support for veterans and their families and to do service to the community. And this is a great time to honor our veterans because of the great service that they've given us. And of course, we've got some service people on the ground in Afghanistan and elsewhere right now defending the freedoms that we so richly enjoy here in this country.
Yeah, there's something about this year, you know, there's going to be a special feeling every time Old Glory goes by, and there's just enough of a breeze. You can see the Stars and Stripes coming in the hands of the auxiliary right now, and it's going to be a moving time, and I'm really very gratified to see people standing, those who have been taught put their hand over their heart and remove their caps.
And I think it's been gratifying to see the response that the country has come together since the terrorist attack of September 11th. And I think most people, despite what a California judge might say, most people do believe that we are one nation under God.
And hopefully it'll stay that way long after that judge is no longer sitting on the bench. These guys look familiar.
The Harley Classic riders who've been with us, I think, just about every year, kind of heading up the parade and then going back and forth to make sure that everybody who is watching the parade remains safe along the sidewalk.
The Harley Riders originated in Manawa, and I believe that's still where the club gets together, although I think some of the owners come from all over the place. And as you pointed out, they are our official parade marshals. After taking part in the parade, they keep going back up and down the parade route, making sure that excited young people stay on or near the sidewalk. We want everybody to see the parade, but to stay safe as well.
And of course, our Hometown Days official banner coming into view right now.
And Hometown Days is what they call. This is the kickoff to Hometown Days, the 4th of July parade, followed by a full day at South Park, fireworks, the whole thing. That first one, I know that one, Dan. It gets to be a joke every year. The cars get older and we get in worse shape. The first one was a Buick convertible.
That was a LeSabre, 1968, driven by Teresa Mangert. And more folks from the VFW post here in Waupaca. And look at this great-looking car here. That's the 1930 Model A Ford Coupe Deluxe with the rumble seat. You see the rumble seat, and there's Merle Mangert behind the wheel, a veteran of World War II driving that car. And
this is a little newer model. I might not remember that 30 as well as you do, Dan, but I've seen this one. That's a Ford Mustang convertible.
My grandfather told me about it. And more from the veteran foreign wars here in Waupaca. And of course, that kind of keeps the other units back a little bit.
Yes, yes, we have mortar fire, which is on one hand, there's no way that this country got where it is without that kind of firepower. And as reluctant as the country may be to use it. There's only one way that we can continue to enjoy the freedoms that we do, and that's having our enemies know that this firepower exists. And it's good for the kids to see it. I see the little ones holding their ears. They want it to go off, but they're afraid of the noise.
We also have the American Legion Post 161 with membership from World War II vets, the Korean vets, Desert Storm, and of course Vietnam veterans comprising the Legion unit here in Waupaca.
Yep, and this particular Legion unit home is the Wisconsin State Veterans Home at King.
Is that Fred Rasmussen?
Yes, it is.
Former longtime police chief here in Waupaca and member of the county board. He's given a lot of public service to the community in the entire area.
Oh, yes, a long time. And I still hear the applause every time Old Glory goes by, and I think there's going to be more of that feeling all around the country this year. Here's our parade marshal, Deb Johnson, is the Grand Marshal, active in the chamber. She's pretty much the one who single-handedly runs things at the Baymont Inn and Suites.
Yeah, the Baymont was voted 2001 Business of the Year by the Waupaca Chamber of Commerce.
I didn't know that.
And hotel opened in '88 and became a member of the Baymont Inn and Suites franchise in 1999. A lot of things going on this weekend here in the Waupaca area. Of course, after the parade, we've got the events going on at South Park. The KCs have their annual chicken barbecue, and of course, fireworks tonight, and of course
at dusk over Shadow Lake.
Big weekend coming up with the rodeo parade and the rodeo in Manawa this weekend, and next
cowboys
next
and
weekend,
real action.
The old car show, and we'll be talking more about that during the course of the parade. But right now, we're looking at some vintage and newer fire trucks coming down Main Street here in Waupaca.
This is Waupaca's volunteer fire department coming, and as you just pointed out, Dan, this is some of their longtime equipment, some of their brand new. Just learned something interesting. It just happened this past week. Every few years, their equipment has to be evaluated. They actually have somebody come here and put, for example, their bucket truck was what was tested this week, through its paces, and literally every single nut and bolt, every weld is tested under just extreme circumstances to make sure that the equipment is tip-top and in good condition to run. Apparently they didn't check the muffler on this old truck.
We've got a vintage fire truck and the mascot of, I don't know which mascot that is, but the friendly Dalmatian up there.
I thought you were talking about Deb Fensky, but you meant that's either Lex or Luther. That's the Fensky's two Dalmatians.
One of.
All right, this is the bucket truck that just underwent the just extreme inspection to make sure that it is ready to roll whenever and hopefully as rarely as it is needed.
As you said, Jim, hopefully it's not needed that often, but it's good to know it's there just in case it is needed.
Well, nobody likes to think of emergency services, but when an emergency happens, people need help. They need it right away. And it's nice to know that whether it's the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the fire department, or the police, that there's going to be a response.
And we talk about the equipment, but the really the backbone of the fire department, of course, is the volunteers who do a lot of training and who are ready at a moment's notice to respond to any type of emergency. So our hats off to the volunteers here in the Waupaca Fire Department and Rescue Squad.
Well, another of the things I learned just recently, Dan, about fire departments is they are the ones who do a study and look at the types of structures there are, what types of homes there are, where they are located, what types of businesses. That's what actually determines the type of equipment that a fire department has. If you live in an area where there's all high-rises, that would be different than if you live in a rural area. And depending on the manufacturing and what sort of hazardous materials may or may not be present, all of that is taken into consideration when they choose equipment, and of course then the training that goes with it.
One thing we didn't mention, of course, is the theme of this year's Hometown Days Parade, United We Stand, and I guess we alluded to it a little bit without mentioning the exact theme, but I think it's an excellent theme this year because we need to be united, because our freedoms are not just the work of the military or the or the president. It's all of us need to be involved.
This is Waupaca Area Chamber of Commerce President George Stoffel and his wife Michelle and their son Alec. And they have the Waupaca Area Chamber of Commerce float. George and Michelle are also owners of the Foxfire Golf Club and the newly opened Foxfire on the Green, which is a
beautiful place,
meeting and convention center restaurant. Beautiful, and the food is just indescribable. They brought in chefs from 3 different directions, and it's amazing.
We're getting picking up the faint sounds of the Waupaca High School Marching Comet Band coming into view.
I think I recognize the smiling face in front of the band, and that little white convertible is Waupaca Mayor Brian Smith and his wife Terry seated up back. I can't see who's driving it. They have a lot to smile about. How'd you like to be the mayor of a community like this?
How appropriate. You're a grand old flag as the Waupaca Marching Comets come into view. Let's just sit back and listen to them, shall we?
So often people say, what's this younger generation coming to? Well, take a look. This is what they're coming to.
Mark Krishek and Kristen Kosmowski directing the Comet Band. Waupaca Comet High School Band honoring all those who have served our nation in the last 226 years. And we're looking at always one of the fun things of the Hometown Days Parade, the vintage vehicles, the old cars that...
Well, you mentioned that the old car show is coming up next weekend. These are just a tiny sample. I think the first was a Buick, the second obviously a Studebaker. This is the popular 57 Chevy. I'm so proud of myself. Take over, Dan. No, there are, if you've never been to the Iola Car Show and Swap Meet, you really want to do yourself a favor. There's so many good things to eat. There's other good things going on. The cars are breathtaking, and there are acres and acres and acres. I'm talking like 40s and 80s and hundreds of acres of cars. And then if you are a car buff and you need parts or things that are automotive, I think the Swap Meet now is as big or bigger than the car show, and that's another 100 or more acres.
Right now we're looking at a Ford...
Oh, sure, pick an easy one.
From the 1960s, I would say probably about a 66 vintage.
I'll go along with that. The one before that, the dark one, I know was earlier. That's like a 61 or 62, somewhere in there.
And this red one is probably from the 1970s. I believe most of these are probably owned by one of the great people in our area, one of the great car collectors, and one of the great people, Chet Krause of Iola.
Little yellow Mustang convertible is from the mid-60s. It's really interesting. This gets a little easier for us. When Dan and I started doing this parade, most of the cars were from the 20s. We had no idea what they are. Now that they're from the 60s and 70s, we remember them.
A great old Lincoln Continental. and
convertible, yeah, suicide doors.
Another Lincoln.
The gold, boy, that's from the early 70s, I guess 73, 4, somewhere in there. What a beautiful automobile. Remember the first one of those I ever saw. Had to actually stop and look at it.
Now that doesn't look like Governor McCallum, but...
I think that's Linda Cross behind the wheel of the governor's vehicle, reminding everyone of a Republican bent. that Scott McCallum is our governor. There's a number of people who'd like to see it stay that way, and they'd appreciate your support. Mark Green, our congressman, feels the same way. I don't think that's him driving the car, though, either.
But with the redistricting now, of course, our area has been switched from Congressman Pete Try to Congressman Green. We've gone from the 6th to the 8th district here in the Waupaca area. The elephant is back.
Yes, indeed. There's the Waupaca County Republican Party elephant.
We see names Terry Two's.
Looks like he's been refurbished,
too.
too.
I think so.
Got a bit of a shine to his smile there.
George Jorgensen, Steve Levy, the sheriff, Mary Robbins, county clerk, and
well, here's a politician who's on hand. Bob Welch, who calls Red Granite home, has been representing us in Madison for a number of years now, and it's always good to see Bob. Senator, good to see you, sir. They only come and say hi to us because they know we're on TV over here, so we're special. Plus, we get to sit up in this Waupaca Motor Sales truck, and they know that we must be somebody special. Everybody else is standing on the pavement. There's John, our district attorney, handing out candy.
The Waupaca County officials that I mentioned a moment ago, Jim Gazer, the treasurer, county treasurer, and Mary Robbins, Terry Two's, and here's our sheriff, Steve Levy.
Sheriff, good morning.
And coming right behind Sheriff Levy is Jean Hundredmark. You'll see her in just a second.
There's Jean going back for another load of candy. These politicians know how to start making friends while they're young. Jean hails from
2 terms in the assembly now.
Yes, hails from Clintonville, and has been representing us in the assembly as a small business owner and a family person. She's a mom, some great kids too. She's got a son who's just the nicest young man. I hope he goes into politics. And spiffy little World War II Jeep just zipped through here, and this is just a sample of what's to come. As well as the old cars that are common at Iola during the Old Car Show, there's also some older military vehicles, and they have become so popular over the years that now they have a show of their own a little later in the season.
Right,
I think it's in August.
Yeah, usually about the mid part of August.
Right around your birthday date.
Right.
Maybe that's it. It's in celebration of Dan Hansen's birthday.
Right around the time when you're at the U Festival in Oshkosh.
That's right. Gee, let's write down some more stuff we can plug. But if you've got an interest, and I'll tell you, the kids especially love to look at these old military vehicles up close and personal, the personnel carriers and some of the Jeeps, ambulances. They also have armored vehicles and armed vehicles.
This is the one I like here, coming up this half track now.
Yes, with this one you can park pretty much any place you want. You don't even need a specially marked designated parking spot.
And we have in our area 2 really great collectors of military vehicles. Chet Krause is a premier collector, also Ralph Dobek from the Wild Rose area, that excellent collection of vintage.
And enthusiasm
military
is
vehicles.
catching. The same enthusiasm when Chet and Brooks Stevens and those guys started collecting old cars in the way back when. Look how that grew. The enthusiasm for the military vehicles also contagious, and everybody wants to get into the act, and why not? It's a fun hobby. And in the case of both automobiles and military weapons, it's a huge part of American history. What would America be if it wasn't for motor vehicles? Where would we be?
Well, we see a lot of these, especially these military vehicles, that played a tremendous role in our efforts during, especially World War II and Korea and so forth, to really our mechanization really helped our soldiers a lot in those combat areas, and also getting them supplied with the materials that they needed to continue the war effort.
All right, well, there's another one coming up here in just a moment. This is another example. I believe this is a troop carrier. It may not be. I'm looking at what's sticking out the back. That looks like it would hold a crane or something. But what it's towing, what you see right now on that trailer, I don't know, it would certainly put the fear of God into me. If they point that at me and tell me to do something, I'm likely to acquiesce to their wishes.
Certainly would discourage trespassers, I would think, too. Now this, we're going to take a look in just a second at something Very colorful, very new here.
And certainly not military.
Hometown Days Parade, yes, totally.
At least not our military. There it is. My baloney has a first name. It's OSCIR. This is the Wienermobile. Actually, Wienermobiles have been around, according to our information, since the 30s in Chicago. This one is a much newer model.
1995 edition, it says.
It's brought here for our parade today by our good neighbors at Cherney Cheese, a division of Kraft Corporation. They're on West Fulton Street here in Waupaca.
I think underneath, I don't know if underneath that is a 1955 Ford Crown Victoria.
And somewhere there's a Ford lover saying, "You did what to my Crown Vic?" It's owned by Jim Peterson. Cherney is a local company, of course. They entered the Wienermobile, and what a great! You can just see the kids. They come out and they want to look at that. They really like the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. And there's the. Did you happen to see the Wiener walking down the road behind him? There's a guy in a Wiener.
No, it's not one of our politicians.
No, a different Wiener altogether.
And there you see the.
Oh, this is
Cherney
the
cheese.
Safety First folks from Cherney.
Are they giving out free samples of cheese? Or?
It looks so. I don't think they'd be throwing cheese. Well, maybe they would. I don't know. They're passing out something. I was going to try to get their attention, and if they bring one over here, they could.
Yes, we'd give them
We'd
a
at
free
least
plug,
know
yeah.
what it was. Yeah.
But
actually, it looks like a package of cheese and crackers. That's what it looks like.
Well,
What a cool idea, and it's
we can't eat
probably
those
better
until
for you
later,
than
yes.
the candy that some folks do. All right, this trailer is also part of the Kraft display. Kraft, Cherney, and the nation stand together for a safer world to live, work, and play in. And it's signed by everybody who works at Cherney. Isn't that great?
And look at the neat young kids up there with their red, white, and blue. It's just an excellent addition to our Hometown Days Parade this year.
All right, and this is what a Crown Vic looks like before you turn it into a Wienermobile.
I think maybe this is the one that's owned by Jim Peterson. I'm hoping, anyway.
I bet you it is. This is probably the 55 Crown
Yeah.
Vic. I just couldn't see them.
No, what a terrible thing to do to them.
I don't know. The Wienermobile was pretty cool. That's Cub Scout Pack 3634 coming down the pike here.
They are based at Trinity Lutheran Church here in Waupaca. They're dedicated to community service. They work on Main Street beautification, the River Ridge Trail, and work with the food pantry and a lot of other good things. All the flags today on Main Street, by the way, were placed here by the Boy Scouts.
All right.
Our Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, the Scouts did it here. So congratulations, Scouts. Here's another example of the good things our young people are doing here in Waupaca these days. Hey, we've got more music.
This is the Waupaca Brass Quintet featuring Rob Spear, Doug Schrader, Charlie Justman, Dave Greenfield, and Sam Woolsey. They play a variety of styles of music for just about any occasion. They'll perform with the Waupaca City Band, who does free concerts every Friday night on the bandstand on City Square in downtown Waupaca. The float itself is from Woolsey Plumbing and Heating.
And we see a truck from the Waupaca, a wrecker from the Waupaca Mobile Travel Center going past us right now.
And here comes another one. And nobody wants to get stranded anywhere, but if you do, it's nice to know that help's at hand. And this particular help also includes the Waupaca area first responders. First responders are a group of highly trained health caregivers who respond in emergency, and they're the ones who sort of stabilize and help people as best as possible until the ambulance or hospital personnel becomes available.
Yeah.
First responders are all volunteers, and they go through a great deal of training. And you know, hopefully you're never going to regain consciousness and look up and meet the first responder kneeling over you. But if you do, know that you're in good hands.
If you need help for yourself or your motor vehicle, we've got it right here for you.
Well, I'm looking at the size. Look at the size of that tow vehicle. This
What would you tow with that? Probably a semi.
pretty much anything you wanted. Yeah. You want this building moved, buddy? Here.
And
SNS Truck and Repair. Truck Equipment and Repair.
the Dragon Wings bookstore showing us the theme of the parade again, United We Stand, with their entry in the parade today.
You know who Curious George is?
I'm curious. Tell me.
Okay, well, Curious George is a
curious
very
Dan.
popular character in children's books, and Curious George is going to be at a book signing. His new book is Curious George and the Parade, and that will be taking place at Dragon Wings after the parade today. Dragon Wings always has a lot of great stuff for the kids going on.
And after the Dragon Wings entry, we have Blue Knight Truck and Trailer in the parade here today.
That's Dwayne and his buddy out there, and I tell you, the Blue Knight Truck and Trailer, if you have a truck, any kind of truck, any size of truck or trailer, and you need something done to it, anything done to it that has to do with trailing, they'll do it. I wasn't sure exactly what he did. I went up there, and he took a look at the trailer hookup for my camper. I pulled an RV, a travel trailer, and he said, well, no wonder this isn't going to work. And 15 minutes, he fixed it. So now every time I go to hook up, it's just, you plug it in and everything works first time, every time. I love it.
Blue Knight Truck and Trailer on Grand Seasons Drive, and the Farmers State Bank is sponsoring this next entry in the parade.
Since 1911, Waupaca is a locally owned, locally operated bank, convenient, independent, and friendly. They're branched out a tad, too. Their downtown location is here. Then they've got the one over on Churchill Street.
Right.
They've got one in King.
And
They've
now
got
Wild
Wild
Rose.
yeah. Plus, they've got that strictly drive-in banking over here, the auto bank. Comes in very handy when you're in a hurry and you just don't feel like standing in line.
Work or play, young or old, united we stand, together as one. That pretty well sums it up for me, Jim.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the stuff on that trailer.
Yeah, they're into everything that's in the Waupaca community. And right now we're looking at the entry from the Fellowship Baptist Church.
I was going to say more evidence that we're not in California, but that would be rude. With allegiance to God and our country, the Fellowship Baptist Church presents the parade theme, United We Stand.
On the float with the flags are a teacher in her classroom pledging their allegiance to our God and country. Walking along with the float, several adults and children about to hand out some candy.
I don't know if you can see it now because the people are walking in front of it, but on the side of the smaller trailer that says, Go, Teach, Win.
And the Fellowship Baptist is located on County Highway E, just north of town toward Ogdensburg, out near the Waupaca Town Hall.
Yeah, coming up right behind him, Dan, is one of the biggest kids in the community. That's Donovan Lane from ABC Computers. ABC does computer systems and networks all over the country. This is a big computer outfit. This is not just a local.
And Donovan's behind the wheel of that little John Deere
Donovan
tractor.
made this, made all of these just so he could drive it in the parade. He has never missed it. You'll never see anybody else, and you'll notice the license plate on his John Deere tractor says Mr. ABC. I think he loves the kids, and he loves the. Oh, hey! What were the chances we'd both catch one of those? But he does a nice job. Morning, Donovan.
Adds a lot to
the kids are having a fun, but I guarantee you they're not having any more fun than Donovan is. This next truckload of parade goers are from Deer Haven Campground. Deer Haven is a good example of recycling. They took an old mobile home park west of town that had fallen into disrepair and turned it into 40 seasonal and daily campsites. They all have full hookup. It's a quiet place to rest and relax, and it's only minutes from the chain or downtown Waupaca or any of the other numerous attractions in the area.
And if you'd like to give them a call, it's 256-1412.
No, I didn't have that. Where'd you get that?
Right off the side of their trailer.
Oh, that's Deer Haven Campground.
And another popular friend of ours, folks at Becker Marine, Bruce Becker, behind the wheel of his red pickup.
Got a truckload of Girl Scouts coming, flying the flag. And a pontoon boat. I don't know if that particular model is available for rent, but if you enjoy boating on the chain or would like to, but lack a pontoon boat or the way to get one down there yourself, stop and see the folks at Becker Marine. They'll rent you one. They will allow you to rent one from them.
That sounds good. And you want to shop the pig? Waupaca Piggly Wiggly has entered the Hometown Days Parade this year.
I think that's store manager Gary behind the wheel of the tow vehicle, too.
Been here since 1989, promoting the community.
That community piggy bank that you see there, what happens is a number of worthwhile local organizations have little mailboxes inside the doorway at Piggly Wiggly. And if you choose to, you take your Piggly Wiggly store receipt and deposit it into the mailbox of the organization you want to support, and a portion of every one of those receipts, a percentage, is donated to the organization then. And several organizations make a lot of money doing that.
And we're going to swing our camera over to take a look at the chain skiers right now. Waupaca's chain skiers have been entertaining folks throughout the summer for the last 30 years with their popular water ski shows on the chain of lakes on Rainbow Lake, just right next to the Veterans Home.
Well, it's okay if they do that on purpose.
Yes.
But I would think that the waters of Rainbow Lake are much softer than the asphalt of Main Street.
They promote a healthy, constructive summer activity for young people. And as we mentioned,
look at them entertain.
Their water ski shows most every Saturday night during the summer, 6:30. Right adjacent to the Martin Center at the Veterans Home in
Just
King.
drive into the Wisconsin Veterans Home at King, find a place to park, bring along a lawn chair or a blanket. Everybody goes around in front of the Martin Center and sprawls out on the lawn. They usually have some refreshments available down there. The shows are free for the whole family, and they are just breathtaking. A lot of people may not be aware that this is a nationally renowned and award-winning water ski team. These guys really put on a show. I don't know. Did the camera catch that? I think it did. One of the skiers on rollerblades just took a spill on the road there. But this is the sort of thing they do. Hours and hours of practice to get going, to learn these skills. It's just.
And we're seeing more of the chain skiers, so they've got a very
good-looking group of kids. And I mentioned
Excellent.
earlier, people sometimes irritate me slightly when they complain about the younger generation. Well, maybe you don't like or understand computers, the internet, or video games, but take a look. These healthy, involved, enthusiastic young people are the younger generation, and they are the future. And I personally feel like we're in pretty good hands.
We are just really about 1/3 of the way through our 2002 Hometown Days Parade here in Waupaca. I'm Dan Hansen along with Jim King, and we are coming to you here on WinTV, Waupaca Information Network, on Channel 3 on Waupaca's cable system. And we're both trying to struggle to find out what we are looking at right now. It's another entry in the parade, but I'm not sure exactly what it is.
It says, "United we stand" on the side of the van. And
I don't know.
Boy, they're bringing us the world here. It's Kids First.
Apparently. Okay, Kids First, we have that here. The Kids First Group Center expanded into 4 convenient locations serving the needs of Waupaca County families. Waupaca, Waupaca, New London. It says you can enroll your child in Kids First Group Center, where kids are first. Doesn't say how you enroll them, but you can stop somebody at the end of the parade and find out, I imagine.
Well, I've seen the Kids First sites. There's one just out on the west side of Waupaca.
It is great.
Stop in and
it's great, though, to see all the kids participating in the Hometown
look
Days
at, she's
parade.
got a whole box of
what?
Little twirly things there. What do you call the little windmill kind of deals?
Windmill
I
things.
think that's the technical term
right.
for it, is little windmill kind of deals. Pinwheels. Thank you. Our resident pinwheel expert is Terry Schultz, the director of the Waupaca Area Chamber of Commerce, and apparently overheard us in our
confusion.
Yes.
Waupaca's county's Democratic Party has an entry in this year's parade, promoting the candidacy of
Attorney General James Doyle.
One of, I think there's 3 or 4, one of 4 candidates from the Democratic side for running for governor this year.
Yeah, but none of them look at all like Elvis.
I can't argue with that. We have a little bit of a lull in the parade. We remind you once again that, of course, this is the 2002 Waupaca Hometown Days Parade here on WinTV. And a great day it's been here. Just a beautiful day. The humidity's come down, the temperatures come down a little bit. What more could we ask for? The sunshine is out.
From the last few days, where the temperatures have been in the 90s and humidity to match, today is perfect, and we've lucked into beautiful days for parades for years now. And this is just the kickoff to the whole day. The people of the Waupaca area are going to be following this parade down to South Park, where the
Chicken
Lions or the
Kiwanis.
Kiwanis, that's it.
There's a KC.
We have so many active service organizations, I get confused.
Let me get my notes out here.
Okay.
The Knights of Columbus, it says.
The KC Chicken Barbecue going on. Spend time at the beach. They have music, a full day. And then tonight at dusk, fireworks over Shadow Lake. And everybody just shows up with a lawn chair or a blanket and stretches out. It's
right here for the parade, we've got the best seat in the house right on top of our brand new Chevy pickup, courtesy of the folks at Waupaca Motor Sales.
And sporting our brand new Win TV shirts. Oh, look at this baby here. No, I didn't mean Dan. I meant this vehicle is from Ad Inc.
I didn't know you cared, Jeff.
Ad Inc. and the Print and Press on the west side of, I'm sorry, the east side of Waupaca. Boy, has it been that long? 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years. I remember when that was a field.
Since Tom Caravaca started that back many years ago, and
a former radio guy.
Yes.
Who had the good sense to
leave. Yes.
But Ad Inc. has grown to become one of the most successful printers in the country. They own and operate over 110 publications nationwide, printing plants in 8 states. They employ more than 1,400 people. And locally, they're just known, the buyer's guide out there across from the Pepsi bottling company.
Or as we refer to them sometimes, Brand X. No.
I think
look at this float here.
I'm thinking that this next float is going to give a better example of a demonstration of what we were just talking about. You can see some of the states where Ad Inc. has a presence.
Wisconsin and New York and
Ohio
and
Florida,
Louisiana.
Okay. You notice we both definitely stayed away from those northeastern states. There's a bunch of little tiny ones up there that nobody really knows.
You've got, you got your basic Rhode Island, and which is about the size of a parking lot in Texas.
Yeah, I think the one is Vermont, but not Maine.
No, could be Massachusetts and New Hampshire and Connecticut, maybe. And that's our geography lesson, boys and girls, for today.
I don't know if this is what Uncle Sam's counterpart would be, but she looks great. What a super costume, and they're handing out big rubber floaty things to the.
Where's our resident floaty thing expert?
Where is that?
Noodles.
Is that
noodles.
Is that a noodle that you wave?
It's
a waving noodle, not a floating. Because they make those round ones that they use for not for PFDs, but as a swimming aid.
As opposed to pinwheels, I guess.
Yes. I was hoping we could coax her to come over and give us a big noodle.
Noodle. We have red, white, and blue. No, I don't see any white ones, but red and blue noodles.
Red and blue noodles.
And
I just want to see one. All right, one of the parade spectators. It is. It says Buyer's Guide, Ad Inc. and the Print and Press. It's just a big foam noodle, I guess.
What does one do with it besides?
I think you wave it.
Oh.
I've seen them at ball games and that sort of thing where people wave them in unison.
You hit people with them,
okay,
yes.
And wives use them to hit husbands. Okay, that's another use.
I guess it's a way to expend some of your hostilities while actually hurting the other person.
Yeah, without leaving a bruise. Look at all these kids. You can see what they do. They love it. It's something to wave and be colorful with. Great looking float to it. I would guess that the folks at Ad Inc. and the Buyer's Guide and the Print and Press put a lot of work into that.
Happy 4th of July. And,
what a great looking little
old
truck
Ford
there.
Yeah, Ford Woody station wagon.
Boy, what a beautiful vehicle. United we stand.
And we go from Ad Inc. to the Bay Lake Bank entry in the Hometown Days Parade this year. Bay Lake Bank is proud, it says, to be a part of the Hometown Days celebration and support its theme, United We Stand. The bank strives to be a community-focused and is perceived and is truly caring within our markets by providing a great working environment, it says, and delivering high quality, I believe that is. Bay Lake.
I'm looking at the cow on the back of the Bay Lake.
I've never seen a cow sit in a chair before. I've seen them sit down before, but never in a chair. Hey, listen up here.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man.
That one, of course, comes to us courtesy of Faith Community Church, south of Waupaca on K.
Right on 22 across from the new high school.
Great. That's a Lee Greenwood song, isn't it?
Yep, from
God Bless the
mid
USA.
80s. Yes, a huge hit for Lee Greenwood.
Every time I hear that, it just gives me goosebumps to hear that
I
great
think
song.
if you don't, you're not.
Check your pulse if you don't, right, Jim?
Yeah. Well, look at this next vehicle is from Falks Brothers, who know how to get it done in the dirt. And way up on top, trying to pick up the young lady singing, and I don't know if our microphone will reach that far. She's way up high and standing next to Lady Liberty.
Let freedom ring, say the folks at Falks Brothers. What a great hometown days parade this is. I like it so much I'm going to watch it again when it comes on Win TV later on this week.
And I'm sure it'll be on several times. So if you missed the beginning, check back. It'll be on a little later.
The Range.
The next is a new restaurant on the east side, and it just happens to be owned by the Falks family. And if you haven't, do yourself a favor. Great food, reasonable prices, and nothing fancy, just fabulous food. That's what they say.
And,
so stop at the Range. It's on the east side of Waupaca on Highway 54.
We were looking at this name before, Greg Dane.
Greg Dane.
And we now know he's got a racing car here in the Hometown Days Parade.
And if I understand this right, it says Wisconsin late model.
This is a
late model dirt track stock car.
The engine is a B&B racing engine, 362 cubic inch, 630 horsepower that baby cranks out. Greg is a member of the Waupaca Racing Series, racing in Antigo on Friday nights and Shawano on Saturday nights. He races also in other cities in the state and in the Midwest, I would imagine, as well.
I have a hunch he doesn't get towed all that often. I think that's just how they get the car to and from the track, and the rest of the time it does fine on its own.
The Waupaca County
Senior Nutrition Center sites, they serve hot, healthy meals at noon to people who are age 60 and beyond. Seniors can get together with friends at any one of 7 sites around the county. Get together, visit a little bit. You don't want to just sit home now that you're retired.
And looking right behind it here, we have the Waupaca Area Youth Hockey Association.
Since 1977, over 130 skaters. WAHA, where families make friends. They'll not only do they do all the hockey, they'll teach you to skate and have fun. They start at age 4. Both boys and girls are welcome and involved at every level. You'll find them at the Waupaca Expo, which is right across from the Baymont Inn and Suites. They begin registration September 10th this year, Dan, in case you want to start to play.
I would need a third skate.
Yeah, at least one.
And we're going to take a look now at the Rodeo City Riders Saddle Club from Manawa, and we see, I believe we're looking at the...
I believe that's the Manawa Rodeo Princess and Manawa Rodeo Queen.
Yes, it looks like we have Alicia Harvey, the 2002 Manawa Rodeo Queen, and Haley Hartung, the 2002 Rodeo Princess. And of course,
they look great.
They've got some great beautiful costumes on, and of course they'll be presiding over the big all the big festivities of the Midwestern Rodeo next weekend, or it should be said this
It's
coming
this
weekend.
This Friday,
tomorrow,
Saturday, and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday. Performances all 3 days, and of course the big parade on Saturday usually.
And if you've never done it, this is another one of those things that everybody should do at least once, is go to the rodeo. And this is a real rodeo. These are real cowboys and real cowgirls who come from all over the country to compete for huge prizes. There's bronc riding, saddle bronc, calf roping, bull riding that'll just take your breath away. And yeah, you want to wear red, white, and blue. You want to wear boots. You want to wear a cowboy hat. And Manawa on the 4th of July is the time and place to do that.
We'll tip our Stetson to the Manawa Rodeo City Riders. Always great to have them in this parade, and we encourage everybody to head over to Manawa this weekend as well.
Well, you know, Saturday they have a big parade too before the rodeo, and you don't ever want to have lunch first and then go over there, because they've got plenty of good stuff to eat, including a big chicken barbecue on the grounds. And then at night they have entertainment. They have bands and that. I mean, this is a full weekend in Manawa.
And they will also be crowning the new Miss Rodeo Wisconsin this coming weekend at Manawa as well. So a great time. Easy, big fella.
Yeah. Well, that's certainly not a cowboy coming.
It's Millard time, Jim. But we have to wait till after the parade is done, though.
Okay, I'm going to wait a little later than that.
You're heading for a little couple of days of R&R, I understand.
Well, you know, before the parade began, you and I were talking about Bob Spurl, who represents premium brands in this area. And it's a company that provides Miller products to those people who dispense Miller products in the area. But Premium Brands as a distributor and Bob Spurl as an individual have been so active in a number of different activities. They're active in the chamber. They're active in the Main Street program. They've you know, there's almost no time that there's something going on that these people aren't over here. I think it's really great. What good neighbors to have. And now they brought us this dandy Miller fire truck. They know how to put out the fire, boy.
1953 GMC that was purchased from the Park Ridge Fire Department, which is a suburb of Stevens Point, I guess.
Yeah, that's that little area just east of Point, correct?
And the siren works, too.
That's a 1953, did you say?
1953 GMC.
That looks in pretty good shape. I would think that that would qualify for entry at the, and that's Bob Spurl behind the wheel. I think that would qualify for entry at the Iola Old Car Show, and it would probably be a welcome entry if it came full of beer the way Bob usually brings it.
Well, Jim, if you need a new home, maybe you want to try.
Why, what have you heard?
Well, now that you probably don't, now that you got rid of those carpenter ants, I heard. We're looking at the Strongwood Log Home Company, and of course, log homes were very popular early on in the history of our country, and have enjoyed a resurgence of late. Symbolize the pioneering spirit of our nation. We see Davy Crockett in his coonskin cap at the front of the log home, and Uncle Sam up above, and George Washington. He was really the first George W., wasn't he?
Yeah.
Father of our country. We see tell us that Betsy Ross gave us the first flag.
And there's Uncle Sam.
For over 150 years, Uncle Sam has represented our desire to work and fight together for liberty and justice, not only in the USA, but throughout the world. And
well, you know, the whole concept that goes behind the founding of the country, the whole idea, if you read the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and what it was intended for, is that people could actually live free, and as long as they were not bothering somebody else, that no government and no other person, no matter how wealthy or powerful, could force them to do something or prevent them from doing it. The idea that people could honestly live free was a great concept, and I'm afraid that today it's maybe time to revisit the concept.
And of course, the only country in the world where the people give the rights to the government, not the other way around.
And sometimes people on both sides of that need to be reminded that that's the way it works. Boy, this guy, that looks like something out of Star Wars. Actually, that's a way of replanting a mature tree without hurting it. You dig a hole, you decide where you want a tree, you go and you find a tree that's in your way, and rather than cut it down and destroy 150 years of God's work, you say, well, why don't we pick it up and put it someplace where somebody would appreciate it? And Big John is the way the folks at Anderson Tree Service do that.
That'll do it for you.
The little red convertible is bringing onto the stage the Waupaca Community Theater float, which is always.
Yeah. That's right. They've got a presentation coming up here this next month. Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, right?
I was just going to say, now what is this one from? Because they've had some pretty bizarre floats over the years.
And that'll be coming up by later in July, and I believe that's Eric Neville who is going to have the lead in that production, singing to us here.
He has the Donny Osmond role.
Yes. And we're going to swing over to the Santa Maria here, the Knights of Columbus Waupaca chapter. Of course, we mentioned their chicken barbecue before at South Park, and we see some of the big the leaders of the KCs there. I don't know what you call the head honchos of the KCs.
Oh, I call him Bob.
Oh, is that Bob?
Yeah, that's Bob waving at us there.
Hi, Bob.
It's Bob Halaska.
Wave the flag, attaboy!
We've got the Waupaca preschoolers.
Who can be reached at 258-6944. That time I saw it. Oh, look at these kids. They're great, and they're having fun. They get to be in the parade. I don't know which would be more fun at that age, watching it or being in it. If you get done in time, you get to watch it, too. So.
And you can hear them, and we're going to take a look at them now. Right behind this Farmall tractor, we've got Rogers Jolly Dutchman, one of the popular polka bands in the area.
Let's listen. This is great, Dan. Everywhere you look, you see toes tapping. It's great.
North, south, east, west, it makes no difference in the place that I surrounded. Picnic, baby, I don't mean baby, because I'm so in love with you. I'm so happy when I'm with you, sweet. I'd never let me go. North, south, east, west,
And coming up right behind.
All right, can you identify that one for us? Oh, it says 1925 right on it. Okay. I think that's what they call a softball, Dan.
Yes, we have the Waupaca Old Time Auto Club, established in 1963. The club has 51 members, and they all have some great collector cars. We saw that 25 from Marley Hayes of Waupaca, and we got Buicks and Pontiacs and Chevys and
Holy
Fords.
cow, you're hot today, Dan. Okay, and behind the Chevy?
I haven't.
No, we didn't get that far yet. This is the Pontiac Bonneville convertible, which is from the mid-'60s, I would guess, as was the blue Buick that went by a moment earlier. The yellow Chevy convertible that's driving onto your television set right now is a few years older than that.
Probably early 50s, I would hazard a guess.
53, 4, somewhere in there.
Maybe,
Sounds like a good
maybe
guess.
a little earlier. What's
And
this red one, Jim?
I'm not sure what that one is. It has a remarkable hood ornament. You don't think we can get by with the Rolls Canardly again? We used to describe older cars as old enough that when it's a Rolls Canardly, it rolls down one hill and Canardly make it up the next.
And behind that, we've got a blue early 60s Ford Galaxy 500, I think.
Yeah, good-looking car.
Chrysler behind that.
That's a New Yorker. This was the top of the line in that day, boy, and that's when you could just about land an airplane on the hood of a car.
Would you guess that's from the 70s sometime?
Oh, yes.
And coming up behind the Chrysler New Yorker, we have a Pontiac Catalina.
This also from the mid-'60s, I would imagine. The big Pontiacs. Great ride. I had first a Grand Prix and then later a Bonneville convertible of about that same year. And what a wonderful automobile. Wish I had it today. At least it would be paid for.
Look at this great old pickup, huh?
Yeah, boy, that's
and
a
the
daddy.
truck's not bad either. No.
Okay.
And a white Dodge. That looks like almost like one of those muscle cars from the.
I believe you're right. I
60s or
believe that
70s.
would fall in that genre. It wasn't so much. I'm sure it's a very comfortable riding car too, but the real advantage to something, the Dodge with the 440 engine was that you could lay a patch from here to the Rosa.
Without
wait till you see what's
have to
coming right behind it. This is one of my favorites.
The Lark, huh?
Yeah, the kicker on our football team drove a Studebaker Lark. And where some people might say, well, boy, that looks like Fred Flintstone's car or something like that, he could lay a patch from here to the Rosa. And, I mean, this was a great little car, great riding car, well-built automobile. Studebaker always was a fine automobile. I think it was a marketing problem for them, and they moved to Canada, and then I don't know what became of them.
Just about everything else it moves again, and nobody ever heard from it again, I guess.
Yeah. And
Chevy
here we've got
Impala?
a Chevy Impala convertible.
Yeah. Look at this. We'll just look at. Oh. There's a. How would you describe that dog? Look at the shot
I
of that
think that's
dog.
a dog who has learned his lesson by chasing parked cars.
And has run into them, I think, a couple of times.
Oh, and here comes his twin brother, sister, whatever.
Oh, I bet that's Art and Vicky O'Keefe from Waupaca.
Boy, what a great, that's a custom pickup truck with, look at the little trailer there, the original camper vehicle there.
Art does
This
all
is a
that work himself,
tailgating
yeah.
special, man. This one's ready for any game, anywhere, anytime.
And right behind the O'Keefe's collector vehicles, we see the Waupaca Lions and Lioness clubs represented here in the Hometown Days Parade. Lions and Lionesses do some very great charity work, especially working with their Leader Dog program and helping blind and deaf folks throughout the country.
They have some fun ways of raising money to help people, too. They have there's John Adelbeck, city worker. They have the popcorn and cotton candy wagon that visits all over. And then on Father's Day every year, they have a big fly-in, drive-in pancake breakfast at the Brunner Airport.
And right behind that, we're going to take a look, and we see a beautiful pickup, but we're just going to look at the sign behind it in a second, and we'll see that it talks about an important event that's going to come up in Waupaca next year, Wisconsin Farm Technology Days. People know it probably as Wisconsin Farm Progress Days. It all started back here in Manawa, or near Manawa, in 1954, and for the next 49 years, it's been Farm Progress Days, but it's going to be changed to Farm Technology Days next year. It'll be held at the Clinton Farm on Highway 22 west of Bear Creek, and Clinton's also hosted the 78 show, and they'll be back again in 2003. Great show. I don't know, I think you and I may have been at 78 show broadcasting from there
Yes.
one time or another.
I was just going to say, are we invited to this one?
Yes.
Okay. By the way, the folks driving this truck know that it is not going to stay this warm forever.
Yes.
This is Halron oil, and when it gets back to being like Wisconsin, you can count on the guys.
And right behind that, we have the County Line Trailblazers. And Jim, if you'd like something to drive besides your pickup, you could either win a ATV or a snowmobile from the County Line Trailblazers.
Boy, that'd be fun. I don't know about that snowmobile, because it's cold when you drive that.
Yes.
But those ATVs look like they'd come in handy, and it seems to me that the Hansen clan uses one actually for chores, not just fun.
Yes, I plowed a lot of snow with mine over the years.
Oh, yeah? But
Hauled a lot.
you drive it when the weather's nice out.
Mhm. Occasionally, too, yes. And right now we're looking at Gary Hill, candidate for Assembly from Waupaca County.
I don't
see Gary.
but like the other candidates that were here. Well, no, Gary's coming. This is Gary in the red, white, and blue here. And he's got Uncle Sam walking alongside, handing out candy. Gary works at Cherney Cheese and is a local it says here he's a local entertainment. Actually, if there's anybody here who is watching this that does not know, Gary Hill is actually an award-winning Elvis impersonator. He has traveled around, actually met Elvis Presley's family, and has been renowned for his ability to recreate shows that were done originally by the King.
Okay. And after the
Speaking
King,
of entertainment,
yes, we have the Laura's School of Dance. I'm not sure where Laura is, but we see some of her star pupils here on the float, the trailer behind it. They're not dancing, but they're waving their pom-poms, flags,
their hands.
No pinwheels.
I think that might be Laura walking alongside the truck there. I don't know.
Okay.
There she goes. Thank you. Boy, our cameraman is really quick. We can just jump all over.
A local dance studio offering tap.
Gee, I wonder what the
jazz,
temperature
ballet.
is according to the Farmers State Bank thermometer high above Main Street. Look at that. The guy's on autopilot. It's great. It's great. 83 degrees. Does that sound right? Oh, beautiful.
And after Laura's School of Dance, we have Trinity Tiny Treasures Christian Preschool.
What a great name for a preschool, too. Tiny Treasures, because indeed that's what they are.
They've got a...
Waving their pinwheels, blowing bubbles.
I thought for a second Lawrence Welk had come back here with a bubble machine. Trinity Tiny Treasures. Try saying that rapidly several times.
What a great-looking bunch of kids.
And again, we've seen so many great young kids and teenagers in this parade. It's just a real treat for us to watch them.
Service above self. That's the motto of the Rotary Club. This is the Waupaca Breakfast Rotary. Locally, they focus on education, elementary, middle, and high school. Scholarships are given every year. Sponsors high school foreign exchange students. They donate to the Rotary Foundation. Very active Rotary here in the Waupaca area, and we're glad to see them in our Hometown Days Parade. United we stand. Do they look united? Well, they're certainly standing. Guy's been in Rotary a very long time.
This is one of those situations where the picture has to tell the story because I can't find words to describe it.
Yeah. And let's face it, they wouldn't be pleasant words.
And coming up after that, we have the Waupaca, check it, I believe it's the Scandinavia Booster Club, promoting their big annual corn roast, which comes up the first week in August. Let's take a look and see what the Scandi Booster Club has come up with it for us this year.
Well, that's always a good time, too. They have a big corn roast, live entertainment, and very family-oriented. You'll find that most all of the activities in the Waupaca area, especially in the summer, are intended to include the whole family.
Show your red, white, and blue in 2002, say the folks from the Scandinavia Booster Club, and we heartily agree.
Stars and Stripes forever.
The Scandinavia Fireman's Dance, it says, is coming up August 2nd from 8 to 12. with the ever-popular Groove Hogs.
Oh,
you know about the Groove Hogs. You groove them with them all the time, don't you?
The band was introduced to the Waupaca area originally by Jeff Maiman and the folks at the Wheelhouse Restaurant. Were so wildly popular that they're brought back now for just all sorts of different activities. The Waupaca Volunteer Firemen's Dances here will feature the Groove Hogs. The Hoggies will be here, as you mentioned, for the Scandinavia Firemen's Dance. And what an absolutely great band. You know it's going to be a good time.
And what a great day we've got for a parade here, and we've got a lot more coming up here. Right now we're going to be listening to and looking at One Accord, a musical group that has been together for about 7 years. They perform throughout the state.
They do a lot of gospel music, but they do old style, big band swing, all of these different types, including rock and roll, but Christian music. And I'm told they're very popular. I don't know if they're quite up there with the Groove Hogs yet, but. I was going to try to pick up the.
Taking a little sentimental journey here.
The kids that we're seeing going by right now, Dan, are from the Head Start program, part of CAP Services. Locally, Head Start is sponsored by CAP and offers program options in 4 counties here in central Wisconsin. Head Start encourages the growth and development of kids and their families. Waupaca Head Start takes applications for the coming school year soon. And if you have questions, you can contact either CAP Services or Head Start.
And right behind the Head Start, we're going to be looking at the Maximum Total Commitment Youth Ministry from First Assembly of God Church in Waupaca. They meet every Wednesday from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Their purpose is Maximum Total Commitment Youth Ministries to share with teens the hope of Jesus Christ, to connect with teens together with Him. So if you're interested in the Maximum Total Commitment Youth Ministry, check out the First Assembly of God Church with their great patriotic and Christian entry in the parade here today. And a popular part of the 4th of July, fireworks, Kotke Fireworks, represented here in the parade today. They are located 5 miles north of Waupaca on County E. And
boy, they put some work into that float. And
good,
if you're going to be celebrating the birth of our nation with fireworks, I trust you will do so safely.
We have the Music Garden, Growing with Music is their theme. Music Garden, a progressive music program with 5 distance programs, babies to 16 months, toddlers to 3 years old, 4 or 5 children 4 to 6 and 5 to 7. It culminates with piano lessons. They focus on listening, beat, free dance, and round dance, and more. Now, some of that stuff I have no clue as to what it is, but I'm sure it's a lot of fun, Jim.
Okay, well, that looks like normally I think this is the Historical Society uses this, but today this is the Waupaca Area Model Railroaders. They always have a big show the weekend of Father's Day and during the Strawberry Fest here in downtown Waupaca. A group of active modelers who put together entire communities in miniature. And this is not miniature. This is the way the mail used to get from downtown Waupaca to King.
This is, we're looking at Mike Kirk alongside which was a baggage car from the Waupaca Electric Light Railroad, which ran between the station here in Waupaca and the King area back in around the turn of the 19th or the 20th century. So, great bit of history that's also been preserved. Living Waters Community is what we're hearing right now from Trinity Lutheran Church in Waupaca. They hold worship services Sundays at 10 at the Waupaca High School, and it's more of a contemporary type of worship that they have. If you're interested in that, check them out. Look at the size of this truck here, by golly there. All 53
I didn't see
feet of
anybody
it.
driving that. I saw somebody in the passenger seat, but and that's something the kids love. You know, they always get out there and make that gesture in the air. Pull that air horn. We want to hear the thing honk. This is how they move merchandise in central Wisconsin. It's the 53-foot, and that's just the trailer.
I don't know if here we have the R&S water heating entry. Look at that's the thing you need to keep your house warm. You can do it from the outside. You don't have to bring the wood inside. An outdoor wood burning furnace from R&S water heating. Not sure.
Where I live, you need to hang a sign on the side that says water heater, though, because if you put a little building like that behind the house, people are going to get the wrong idea. It's just, it happens.
I'll take your word for it, Jim.
We've got an oversized load coming here. This is one of Falks Brothers trucks and trailers, and I believe they're bringing the Waupaca City Band. I can't see for sure, but I think, yep, that's Mark Preshak at the front, so that's going to be the Waupaca City Band.
So Mark is really in the parade now twice. He came through with the high school band and now with the city band. And of course, you mentioned their free concerts every Friday night here for the next several weeks at the bandstand here.
Every Friday evening about 7 o'clock, 7 or 7:30 at the bandstand. Everybody brings a lawn chair and just relaxes and listens to music like this. Oh, they like that, Dan.
Was that perfect timing right when they got past our camera? The big finale, the big finish here. Put your binoculars on that car and see what we're looking at here, Jim. I haven't.
Well, it's a PT Cruiser, and it's not that old.
Is that Hot Wheels?
Then and now Hot Wheels, and I have a hunch that's why he's driving the PT Cruiser, because some of the earliest Hot Wheels looked a little bit like that. And now what was kids' games 25 years ago is serious collector business. These guys like to get out and race their Hot Wheels.
And the club started in 1999. They collect Hot Wheels, Matchbox, Johnny Lightning cars, 1/18th scale, 1/24th scale, 1/43rd scale.
This is the Society of the American Legion. Began in France during World War I. Portage County 40-8 locomotive is a custom-made vehicle for their Voyager. And that's a regular in our parade too. I think they bring that vehicle for us every year.
And a very popular part of a lot of parades. And of course, something that's been in the news, not so much around here, but farther west, the big forest fires out there. And we've got a great resource here. The DNR is working with their equipment. Of course, if there's a fire breaks out, they're right there to try to extinguish it as soon as possible. And of course, Smokey Bear. Smokey Bear.
And the reminder always is only you can prevent forest fires unless somebody becomes a bit schizoid and starts one on purpose, which was also in the news this week. What a shame. This is coming in. We're going to wait till the trailer shows up. This is the Swingin' Monkey, a DJ for all occasions, we're told. Professional sound and light show, weddings, private parties. You call the Swingin' Monkey.
Certainly a name sticks with you, doesn't it?
I've been called a lot of things, but never.
Call 1-800-MONK. Iola Old Car Show and Swap Meet. We mentioned that's coming up very shortly. That'll be next weekend, next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
A new float.
July 12th, 13, and 14.
Yeah, they have a mechanical rotating old car up there. And is this year the year of the Model A?
Yes.
Every year they feature one make and or model, and this year it's the Model A. Fabulous car. You know you're going to see some absolutely wonderful automotive history at Iola this year.
And Jim, you want to take this one, the Norwegian Fjord horses. Huh?
Is this the Fjord horses?
I think so.
We're looking this out. Among the oldest and purest breeds of horses, they average 13 to 15 hands high, and anywhere from 1,000 to 1,400 pounds. These have a reputation for being very affectionate horses, sure-footed, calm, and excel in discipline. These should be children. I mean, there are so many lessons to be learned from these horses, the Fjord horses.
We're going to take a look now at the Bloomfield Automotive Club. They sell, or Bloomfield Automotive, rather, not a club. They sell
Talk about your
used
Hot
cars
Wheels.
and trucks. Specialize in older muscle cars and hot rods, Jim.
Yeah,
Well, this is just
that first
just
one
the
was
thing
the
for you.
Judge. Remember that? Here come the Judge. Yeah, this is muscle. Wide tires and.
Talk about laying a patch from here to the post office. Huh? These are the babies. To do
That's
it.
the only reason you want to own one of these is you
Not
love
for
the
the-
way it sounds.
Not for the gas mileage, right?
The Chevy Nova SS. One of my best friends ever had one of those in gold. I think he loved it more than his wife and children.
Look at this orange GTO here. Whoa.
Oh, yeah. And now we're going to go back a few years earlier. The walkers that you saw there, our pedestrians are announcing the Historical Society. This car represents the Hutchinson House Museum on South Main Street, right at the entrance to South Park. I've not seen that car down there, but the house itself is worth a visit if you want to learn something about history of the state and this part of the state in particular.
And I think we have the Waupaca FFA
That's
coming right now.
The truck is from Roysette Ford. Just
And-
recently took over what was the Bergstrom franchise. Welcome, Roysette, to the community.
And of course, with them is their instructor, Jen Erb, Waupaca, who was named the Wisconsin Ag Teacher of the Year very recently at the State FFA Convention in Madison. So congratulations to Jen as well.
And right now on camera, I believe that's the Stony Acres Riders. Located in King, part of the business community for over a quarter century.
Looks like, well, that is really a spotted horse, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And it's racing down Main Street. America's health and fitness zone, Jim. We're in that zone, aren't we, sometimes? Very rarely. though.
Well, I like to stay in shape. It's just that there's more than one shape. And my shape happens to be round. Okay, yeah, these folks, the Health and Fitness Zone is located within the confines of the Baymont Inn and Suites. They work out in the gym, they work out in the pool, they get in shape, they look good. They set a good example. I never trusted people like that. I just kidding, of course.
I believe next we're looking at the entry from the village of Ogdensburg in the town of St. Lawrence with firemen, kind of American heroes represented on that float.
If you look at the back of the float, I don't know if you can see that clearly on your TV, along with the flag is a picture of our president.
There, that's a good shot. A lot of great, I think this is probably the best parade we've ever had. Certainly a lot of great
Wonderful
participation and patriotic entries. Really, I think everybody who's been out here today has enjoyed it. And
Wonderful parade coverage, too. I think the camera crew is doing an exceptional job. I'm just amazed. I'm enjoying watching the parade on television, and I'm here. Silver Mist Garden Center is a new business in Waupaca. It's just south of town on 22. And they have trees, shrubs, annuals, perennials. You can't miss them. You just go about a mile and a half south of the high school, and you'll see them on the east hand side of the road. East hand? Okay.
That's works for me.
Starting to do Leo DeRocher here.
We're just looking at another entry, Ken Grosskreutz, who's a candidate for sheriff, it says. I assume it's in Waupaca County, since we're in Waupaca, but we have no other information than that on our sheet.
Okay,
so.
well, I believe it's sheriff. Yeah, he's running for Waupaca County Sheriff.
And you see a truck from Rossette Ford here. We mentioned
Ooh,
that they've
fancy
just taken.
truck.
Yeah. It's kind of like yours, isn't it, Jim?
Actually, it's a different color. That one has really fancy wheels. I wonder if my wife saw those wheels. Those would look good on our truck. And then, speaking of Fords, this one is a used model. Ford Fairlane, I'm guessing that's a 5960, somewhere
How
there.
about a 57 Ford convertible?
Okay. Oh,
And then here comes the entry from Kramer Exterminating. You got carpenter ants, you got any kind of varmints, they'll take care of them for you.
well, actually, I didn't know Kramer before a few months ago, but yeah, we started seeing carpenter ants in our home. It's an older home, and we thought, holy cow, this doesn't sound good. And we came highly recommended. We called the guy, and by golly, he and was it Frank or Ivan? I forget the other guy's name. Came over, and all of a sudden we're not seeing ants, which we enjoy much more. Actually, the few that we did see had expired.
Good.
Yeah, we thought, okay, that's good.
We're going to take a look at this beautiful Euroline boat. It's a 210 horsepower engine with wake ballast tanks, especially priced for the 4th of July, it says here. And Euroline boats are made in Waupaca, just the factory's just north of town and midway between here and Ogdensburg.
Good looking boat.
We see East Side Auto Body.
That's Ivor Iverson at the wheel of the tow vehicle, the squad car. East Side Auto Body. I don't know.
And then
Looks a little bit like something from the Dukes of Hazzard. It's
Right.
a Ford at one time.
right after that, we're looking at Jess Eager Trucking, who owns Waupaca's finest fireworks. It's down near Fleet Farm and Apple Tree Lane.
No, that's not that Mustang.
We're looking at a Ford Mustang from the mid-1960s, I believe.
Actually, what you're listening to is none of the vehicles that just drove by. It's the one on the trailer that beat the Heat vehicle, which was built by local high school kids to race against police cars on a racetrack under controlled conditions.
And the Waupaca Area Ambulance Service Fire Department units bringing our very excellent 2002 Waupaca Home Down Days Parade to a conclusion. And we've got a lot of sights and sounds.
Fire department never sneaks up on you. They want you to know when they're coming.
And it's been a great parade. I think probably our best ever. The folks at the chamber and all those people who have worked on this parade have outdone themselves this year. Our congratulations to everybody involved in the parade. They've done an excellent job.
I think the folks at Win TV have done a great job, thanks to the camera crew and the director, John Pori, and his group. A reminder that this is the beginning of a day that we celebrate independence and freedom here in America. Here in Waupaca, we do it with a parade and a big chicken barbecue and live music in the park, and spend the day at the beach, and then stick around at night for fireworks over Shadow Lake. And then from there on, we go to the weekend. It's a 4th of July weekend. Remember what it is we're celebrating. Have a safe and happy 4th of July, and happy birthday, America.
So long, everyone.